everyone who is watching. It's another day, and I welcome you back to this channel, The Teacher. I brought an earlier presentation which was on contract. Now, this presentation is on one of the elements of a contract. That is an agreement which is made up of an offer and an acceptance. Today, what we are going to do is to dive in more into what an offer is. So we'll be looking at what an offer is, some important things we should note when it comes to an offer. So without wasting much time, let's see what an offer is. An offer was defined as can be defined as a definite promise to be bound, provided that a certain specified terms are accepted. So with this definition, we can actually say that an offer, like you promise. So there will be a promise, and the promise would actually contain some specified terms. When we say specified, you know what specified means. So those terms are like, as in, you are supposed to fulfill those terms in order to uh, be able to say that you did whatever was, like in the contract, as in you were supposed to do. So it's a promise, it's a definite promise to be bound, provided that certain specified terms are accepted. Now, another definition is it is an expression of willingness to a contract on specified terms. But the most important definition I want you to look at is an offer is a proposal by one party to the other party by which he promises to do or give or forbid from doing a specified thing. So when we look at offer in this sense, we look at it as a proposal, as in, okay, this is what I would want you to do, or this is not what I would want you not to do. So in the definition, you see somewhere that a promise to do or not to do. Around this area, you see to do or give or forbid from doing a specified thing. So that is what an offer is. The party manifesting the intention is the offeror. That is the party who intends to offer something is the offeror, and then the other party who is supposed to accept the offer is the offeree. So he is the person they are making the offer to, the offeree. Now, a valid offer. How can an offer be valid? Now, the first option is saying that an offer can be valid when the offer is communicated. So you can't really go like you want to offer you want to give someone a proposal and not communicate it. If you don't communicate it, it means that you like the offer is not valid because there was no offer in the first place. So the offer must be communicated so the offeree may accept or reject it. Now, communication can be done expressly or orally. Expressly, that is written or orally, sorry, or implied by conduct. Now, when we look at, let's just look at some example of an offer. I will sell my Toyota car for 6,000 Ghana cedis. That's an offer. You are offering to sell your car for 6,000 Ghana cedis. I will sell my car for 6,000 Ghana cedis. You've set a price, you've made your intentions known that you want to sell. The one who makes the offer is the offeror, and then the one who makes the offer, to whom the offer is made, is the offeree. Now, where and when an offer takes effect. Now, an offer cannot take effect until it is received. In other words, it has to be communicated. So, if the offer is not communicated, then it cannot be received. So, you need to communicate an offer so that the other party would be able to accept or reject it. Now, an offer which is not heard or not received has no legal effect. That is, it is not valid. It doesn't really hold. An offer takes effect immediately the offeree hears of it or receives it. So when an offer is communicated, it means that so far as the offer has been communicated, whichever party heard the offer can accept the offer at that point in time. because like I tell you, I want to sell my car for you. I want to sell my Toyota car for 6,000 Ghana cedis. Now, telling you that means that I want to sell my offer. So as I want to sell my car. So as soon as you hear of it, an offer has been made to you. An offer has been made to you. So it is either up to you to accept or to reject it. Now let's look at what specific and general offers are. Now we are going to differentiate between a specific offer and a general offer. Now a specific offer is an offer which is directed to a named offeree or groups of people, groups of offerees. So you pick a group of people and then you make an offer to them, or you pick a particular person and then you make an offer to them. That is what a specific offer is. Now, the general offer is an offer that is made to the whole world. So you make an offer to the whole world. That is, you don't really direct it to a particular person or a particular group of people, but you direct it to the whole world. So such things, um, uh, such offers are mostly in advertisements. I'm not saying advertisements are offers, but such offers can be in advertisement form. It can be in newspapers and etc. So a general offer is made to the whole world, while a specific offer is made to a particular group of people. So general offer can be accepted by any person anywhere. That is, the general offer can be accepted by any person anywhere. So you be no matter where you are, you can accept the offer, and then as long as you accept the offer, it holds, meaning that the person, the offeror, needs to make sure that he goes by whatever he said in the offer. Now, a specific offer can only be accepted by the person or any member of the group to whom the offer was made to. So that's the difference between um, the offer, the specific offer, and then the general offer. Now we look at a case study, that is Khalil versus Carbolic Smoke Bomb. I think this case study would help you understand the general offer pretty well, because this case was a general offer situation. Now in Khalil versus Carbolic Smoke Bomb, there was there was the Carbolic Smoke Bomb company was the defendant's company, and then Miss Khalil was the plaintiff. Now, she sued the company for some amount of money because the company was selling medicine, all right, and then they were specific and clear enough through the advertisement. They said their medicine, that is carbolic smoke ball, could cure anybody if it is taken. It could cure influenza, cold, and other diseases associated with cold water if you take it per prescribed. So Ms. Khalil bought this drug, took it as per prescribed, but it didn't really cure her disease. Now the question is that really an offer? Like we could actually say that that was a mere sales stock. But if we should end um at that point. But what the Carbolic Snowball Company said was they are putting some monies down, and if you take their medicine and you like those diseases they listed doesn't really go, they will compensate you with those monies, right? So meaning that they were they intended to make things like legal, and then they intended to back whatever advertisement they plan on doing with some consideration. So the fact that there was consideration means that they intended to create legal relations between their customers and them. So whoever buys their product and then takes the medicine and then does not see the result he or she was supposed to see, that person can sue them for those monies. So Miss Khalid took the medicine, and then at the end of the day, what was supposed to happen per what the Kabbalic Mobile Company said did not really show. So it means that they've breached their contract. It was a contract situation, so they've breached their contract. So Miss Khalil went to the court, and then the Kabalik Snowball Company wanted to prove that whatever they said was just a mere sales stock, like sales stock. You go like, okay, a sales stock would be an example of a sales stock would be like Omo. What Omo does, like Onga, mammal serpent hand. That doesn't really mean say if you don't use it in a correct quantity, like your stew or whatever you're preparing will be tasty. If you don't use it in the right quantity, although they are saying it's mammoth helping hand. So it is a mere soul stock. With this case, it was established that it wasn't a mere soul stock, and then the fact that there was monies involved, that they placed some amount of money down there um, to compensate people if things don't work out. It means that you intended to create legal relations. So the court appealed that they wanted to prove that it wasn't a mere it was just a mere sole stock, or the offer was not made to the whole world, and then they didn't really intend to create legal relationship. Now the court of appeal held that though the wording of the advertisement was unclear, it amounted to an offer to the whole world, and then the person who fulfilled the conditions contracted with the company, hence Ms. Khalil was entitled to take the 100 Ghana cedis, a 100 euros reward. That is the case between Khalil and Kabbal's Mobile. You can go much details into it. You can just have a look at things better and clarify your mind on whatever you're supposed to get to know. Now, what an offer is not. We looked at what an offer is. We're looking at what an offer is not. Now, we have a mere request for information. When we talk of a mere request for information, in most scenarios, people go to stores and stuff, and then they ask for the prices of things, they ask for some certain quantities of some commodities. That doesn't really mean they are making an offer. They are just asking for information. Okay, so an example of me asking for information is, would you sell one bag of rice to me for 500 Ghana cedis? If I ask you that, asking for information, would you? It's just a question asking for information. But if I go like, sell this to me for 500 Ghana cedis, then it means that I'm making an offer. That is it. So a mere request for information is not an offer. Now, some of us are fan of, like praising a particular commodity or um, service. We go like, you see a dress, and then you go like, this dress is beautiful. Oh my goodness. I definitely have to buy this. All those things you are saying is a mere indication of good intentions. It means that you would want to buy it. You are not making an offer. So most often we mistake, like, we go to stores, and then we some people refer to it as window shopping. We go to shops, and then we spend most or almost the whole day there asking for the prices of things, and then later on we come back. That does not really mean we are buying those products. We just want it's either we just want to ask for information, or we are expressing we are expressing a good intention about the product, the whole product in general. So we would want to buy. We would want to buy. That doesn't mean we have made an offer. Now, the next point is an invitation to treat. When we talk of an invitation to treat, it's more like when we look at invitation to treat, we look at the advertisement, we look at display, um, display of products or properties and other stuff. Those are invitation to treat. We are not making an offer, but we are making it appealing to you in other sense. Like if it appears cool and beautiful and whatever we want, whatever image we want to paint in your head, you would actually be the one to come forward and make an offer. So an invitation to treat is not an offer. So most often you see goods in a provision store. That doesn't really mean they've made an offer to you. So you need to go there and then tell them you want to buy this. That is on you. It is not on them. A mere powerful boss. Like so mostly we brag about some products and stuff. That doesn't mean we are making an offer. So let's look at these things into details. Yeah, a mere request for information. This is an inquiry made by an offeree directed at the offeror for the supply of information. So it is merely regarded as a part of a negotiation and not the offer itself. So an example is in Harvey versus Fassi. Now, the plaintiff sent a telegraph to the defendant in the following manner: would you sell us bumper hall pen, telegraph lowest price? So they were asking a question: would you sell it to us? That doesn't mean you should sell it to us. So if I ask you a question like, would you sell it to us? And then later in the day, I realize you packaged everything and then you brought it to me. I didn't make an offer. I was just asking for information. So if anything, you respond to the information, you respond or you send a feedback to me for me to get to know that you would want to sell or you wouldn't want to sell. That is a mere sales talk. So the court declared that the statement was a mere request for information and not an offer. Now we look at a mere indication of good intention. This is a statement where one offers to show that he or she is serious about a particular transaction. So he or she is serious about a particular transaction. That doesn't really mean the person has made an offer. Now, an invitation to treat, like I said, this is where one party invites another party to make an offer. It is an indication that the inviter is willing to enter into a negotiation, but is not prepared to be bound immediately. So let's look at some of the things we need to know um, under invitation to treat. Now, if I'm going too fast during the slide presentation and then you would want to write some notes, you can pause the videos midway and then have a look, go through, and then get to know what it is. Now, we speak of display of goods and services. Mostly, we go to stores and then they display the goods and services. We should note that those goods and services they've displayed over there, they are not making an offer, but they are inviting us to come make an offer. So the display of offer, one, you look at the point, the first point, they said the display of goods on a shop window with price marked on them or not does not make an offer. Now, the display of goods and services with price tag is also an invitation to treat. So when you go and then you see something like that, it does not really mean they are making an offer. Just like in the case of Fisher versus Bell. Now, the defendant was sued for offering for sale a flak knife, like a flake knife, contrary to the provision of the Offensive Weapons Act. So they went to the shop and then they were like, he was offering to sell a knife which uh was legally bound, like as in people were not supposed to sell those knives. And then it was established that the display of the knife was not it was just an invitation to treat and not an offer. So there was no case against him. Now, you know what an auction is, right? So if you don't know what an auction is just, like um I don't know if I should put it in a as in a program or a program organized for the sale of goods and services. So with an auction, like they display goods and services, and it is up to the bidders, so those who are around that area, to make bids. The bids are what we are referring to as offers. So they come and then they make their offers, and then the highest, the one with the highest offer wins. So just imagine we put maybe a laptop for sale and we go like this laptop is at a reserve price of 50,000 Ghana cedis. Then they start 50,500. 60,000 Ghana cedis. Those prices, let's just say the last price was 9,000 Ghana cedis, then that was the highest. Meaning that when the hammer falls, then 90,000 Ghana cedis would win or would take home the laptop. That is how an auction works. So until the hammer falls, there is no contract. When the hammer falls, there is a contract. Now, when in an auction, the bidders are the one who make bids. Then those bids are what we are referring to as offers. So it is not the auctioneer who is making the offer, but those who are around, the bidders are the one who come and then make an offer. Now, so when you read, you see something like the people who make the bids are the ones making the offer to buy the item. So during the auction, the auctioneer just brings the product for display, but not to make offers. So it is up to the auctioneer to either accept or reject it. But in actual sense, when the hammer falls, there is a contract between them. So when you send the goods there and you are at an auction, when the goods are at a reserve price, it simply means that um, the reserve price has to be stated, and then the bids should be either equal to or above the reserve price to be accepted. If it is below the reserve price, there is no contract. Now, advertisements. This is just we advertise goods and services all the time. So advertisement generally is not an offer, but in some cases, like in the Khalil versus Kabbalah smoke ball, it became an offer in the sense that that there was consideration in there. So the other party accepted and then did what he or she was supposed to do. And then at the end of the day, the result was negative, so they had to sue them. But advertisement generally is not an offer, it's an invitation to treat. Now, a mere powerful boss, like this is where people brag, and then like some of the things we hear are just exaggerated, like as a statements or words. Like just imagine an example is Omo washes brighter and removes all stains. Now, like it is not really like that Omo washes brighter and removes all stains. What if you wash and then like it's not brighter? What if like there are so many things, but just imagine if they should add a consideration to it, then it becomes a contract. Now, like another one is hunger, mama's helping hand. So mama's helping hand, like it has a whole lot of meaning. Is it that hunger will be there in the room with mommy when mommy is cooking, or is it that hunger will just be there for mommy to use? Which one is it? So it's a mere puff or buzz. Like like they speak about these things. This is what it does, and at the end of the day, you know for a fact that it is not so, or there's a possibility that it might not be so. Now we look at counter offers. Now, what is a counter offer? A counter offer is made when an offeree makes modification or alterations in a proposal given by the offeror before he or she can accept it. So, like we spoke of an offer being made by an offeror to an offeree. So, if the offeror makes an offer to the offeree, and then the offeree decides to make modification or alterations to the offer in before acceptance, he or she is making a counter offer. So the offeror has made an offer. Okay, I want to sell my car to you for 60,000 Ghana cedis. Now the offeree decides to, okay, nah, boss, like 60,000 is a bit too much. Why won't you? What can you please sell it to me for 50,000 Ghana cedis? I want to pay 50,000 Ghana cedis for the car. That person has made a counter offer to the original offer the um, the offeror made. Now it is up to the owner of the car now to accept the offer that the offeree has made. It is no longer up to the offeree to accept the offer. It is up to the offeror. And then we should note that when counter offer comes in, the original offer has been cancelled or terminated. In other sense, the original offer is no more. So if the offeror decides not to accept the counter offer, there is no offer again to be accepted. So what I'm saying is when the 50,000 Ghana cedis for the car is rejected, the offeree cannot go back to accept the 60,000 Ghana cedis because that contract, that offer does not hold. So in case the offeror does not really want to accept or sell the car anymore, you cannot take him to court to for him to fulfill that promise because that contract does not hold. Now we should note a counter offer has two effects. One, it cancels or nullifies the original offer. So it renders the nullify the original offer out or cancelled. It replaces the original offer and becomes a new offer altogether. So that is it with a counter offer. Now let's look at cross offer. Now cross offer refers to an offer that offers that are made simultaneously between two parties. So you want to sell something to me, I want to sell something to you, you want to buy that particular thing from me. You make an offer and I also make an offer. So those offers cross together. So there is a crossover together. Now, what is the effect? The parties are each other's offeror and with respect to their own individual offers, and at the same time they are both offering. Now, the effect is the legal effect of cross offers is that even if the two parties contain the same term, they can there can be no contract. So there's no contract between them unless one of the parties would want to forego his contract in order to accept the other contract. There is no contract between the parties. Now, what is a standing offer? A standing offer is an offer that is made. Like so you make an offer and then it's there. Like most companies do it. You make an offer and then all the most often at the end of the day, like people are supposed to, like the other party is supposed to supply goods and services to you, and like for maybe a number of months or a number of years for a particular sum of money. So you go into a contract with a person to supply goods, and that is a standing offer. So all every month the person will supply goods and services to you every month for the number of years you guys decided to enter into a contract with. So this is a standing offer. Some standing offers, we make standing offers with bank where we go like the bank should pay our workers or some particular group of workers this particular sum of money every month for this number of years. So the bank does not really need permission from you again to authorize that payment. You've done that, and then the bank will do that till you address them not to, um, or you tell them not to send monies to such person again, or not to provide goods to such persons again. Now, so a standing offer, let me read. A standing offer arises when a person tenders to supply goods or services to another is accepted. Such acceptance is not an acceptance in the legal sense. It merely converts the tender to a standing offer for the duration specified, if any. The offer is promising to supply the goods or services on request and is bound to do so where a requisition is made. So, a requisition of goods or services by the offeree amounts to acceptance, and failure to supply by the offeree amounts to a breach of contract. So, if you fail to supply or if you fail to do that, it amounts to a breach of contract. Now, it is it is there like you can just revoke it anytime you want to. So an offeror is free to revoke the offer at any time before the requisition is made, unless the offeree has provided some consideration for the offeror to keep the standing offer open. So it's a standing offer. You you can keep it open or you can choose to cancel it at the end of the day. And then if like if it comes, it can only come to an end when everything has been sorted and everything has been done. So we look at the termination of offers, how an offer comes to an end. Now, the first one is by withdrawal. And when we talk of by withdrawal, okay, we go much into it. But by withdrawal, lapse of time, we have death, we have rejection, we have non occurrence of a condition, we have acceptance, we have insanity. Yes. So when we talk of withdrawal, we look at um, a situation where you make an offer and you pull it back, you pull the offer back. So with withdrawal, what we do is what we should know is you can withdraw the offer anytime you want to before acceptance. So as soon as the offer has been accepted, you can no longer withdraw the offer. So as soon as the offer gets accepted, whatever uh, you said in the offer has been accepted. You cannot withdraw it back. So we have something under this page that the revocation of the offer is effective only when it is communicated. So when you want to withdraw an offer, when making an offer, you communicate so that it it gets to the party you want to make an offer to. So if you want to withdraw the offer to, you have to communicate to the party you made the offer to. Now, we looked at another thing here, and like it was in the case of Rootsleg versus Grant, it was held that Grant was entitled to withdraw his offer at any time once it had not yet been accepted. So an offer may be withdrawn at any time before acceptance. So if you want to withdraw an offer, you make sure that you abide by this rule. Now, an offer is revocable at any time before acceptance, must be communicated to the offeree, legally effective when notice is received by the offeree. So you have to send an information to the person. An offer is irrevocable after acceptance. When they accept the offer, you cannot revoke it. Now, auction. In an auction, like as soon as the hammer falls, there is a contract. So before the hammer falls, you can pull back your offer. Now, lapse of time, like lapse of time during in a contract, sometimes we set time. Okay, I want to sell. Okay, cool. I want to sell my car to you for 60,000 Ghana cedis. You should make an acceptance before 24th. So I've set a specific date and time that you are supposed to fulfill, I'm supposed to hear from you. If I don't, then those time if I don't hear from you before that day or on that day, then it means that you no longer want to accept the offer, which simply means that there was no offer between us. So that is lapse of time. Now, another point in lapse of time is with lapse of time, when we don't set a time, then what we call reasonableness comes in. So in a reasonable time, so if I make a contract to you, I'm selling a car for 60,000 Ghana cedis, and then you wait for 5 years before accepting, what do you want to tell me? Or even if you wait for 5 months before telling me, because I might want to sell the car for like as soon as possible. Or I might want to, so you can't really sit sit on an offer for a very long time. If you are interested in the offer but don't have money, you communicate. Okay, so I don't have money now. I want this. I want the car, but this is what I'm willing to pay, so that the person knows what you are, whether you want to accept or not. And then the person would ask him tell you whatever he or she wants. So if no time is specified, the offer is said to expire after a reasonable time. Reasonableness. What is reasonable is a question of fact. So like what is reasonable? Reasonable is the up to law to decide. No. Now when we look at another point, debt. Now debt of either parties before acceptance terminates an offer. But this condition is generally not true because of the fact that sometimes we deal with companies and then a representative of a company might die. But if the representative of a company dies, the company is still there and you can still go ahead and enter into a contract with them. The offer still holds. Now, the termination takes effect from the moment the survivor gets to know about the death of the disease. But if we are dealing with persons, like as in particular group of people, okay, I'm dealing with this particular person, just like the services of a barber, the services of a chef, the services, like as soon as this person dies, or as soon as the customer of the chef dies, then it means that the contract has come to an end. So that is, but when you're dealing with companies, it is not so. Now, rejection is, in simple terms, is where I make an offer to you and then you go like, no, you don't want, or you no, you like you can't accept it. As soon as you give me that response, it means that you've rejected an offer, and then you rejecting the offer cancels the offer. There is no offer again. Or you making a counter offer, like I said earlier, cancels the original offer made. Now, when we talk of non-occurrence of a condition, means that you made a condition as to if the condition is supposed if the condition happens, the party you entered into a contract with is supposed to do something. So just imagine, I make an offer. I see someone selling an umbrella, and I go like, okay, if when it rains, I want you to bring me an umbrella when it rains. I want you to bring this umbrella when it rains. So I made an offer to you, but if it doesn't rain, then there was no offer. So if I tell you to bring me an umbrella when it rains, and then that condition doesn't happen, it means that that offer has been terminated. So there are conditions offers. The offer may be subject to and to the occurrence of a condition or contingency. If these conditions to which the offer is subject to fail to occur, the offer can be said to have been terminated. So if it doesn't occur, then there is no contract. Now the next one is acceptance. That is what if if someone wants to offer a product to you or a contract to you, the person is praying that at the end of the day you accept it. So this is what any offeror wants. So when a valid acceptance has been made to a valid offer, it has the effect of merging with the offer to produce a new thing called an agreement, and together with its other elements of contract. So we each person wants you to accept the offer he or she makes. So when you offer and then someone accepts, there is a contract, and then that brings us to the end of the uh, the the end of an offer, because if you offer and then someone accepts, it ends the offer. In other sense, it terminates the offer. The offer has ended. Now we look at insanity. Like unsoundness of mind of either party terminates the offer. That is probably the parties were okay. They were okay before the offer was made by one to the other. If the other one goes mad, if anyone goes mad, it brings the offer to an end. That is just insanity. Now, this is the end of our lecture. I would want you to assess yourself based on what you learned today. So, these are some questions that would help you assess yourself. Now, one of the questions is, what is an offer? We look at what is an offer. We also look at what is not an offer, or how do you differentiate an offer and from what's not an offer. So differentiate the offer from what's not an offer, and then you tell us what an offer is not. I would also want you to differentiate between a cross offer and the counter offer. Now, I would want you to also tell us how or some ways we can end or terminate an offer. Now, tips. Make sure the tip of the day is to make sure to study with cases. Like whenever you are studying a course like law, you need to study with cases, because cases helps you understand the the course better or the law program better, and it pushes you to love the course and appreciate the course more. Now, our next slide presentation will be on acceptance, and the acceptance and offer together brings an agreement. So after doing acceptance and an offer, we end there and then we move to the next element of a contract. Thank you for your time.